It's Judgment Day.
I remember when I asked you what your next project was going to be, you told me it was a surprise. I also was honored that I was picked as one of the judges, and also that the article that's in the Cincinnati Magazine is entitled, "It's Not My Mother's Idea, but I'm hoping she'll be one of the judges." So I'm very impressed with the whole thing, and we'll be anxious to see how it turns out.
I think that Kendall needs help with his hair, but in general, the hair is okay. I think at least everybody in their lifetime should have someone else pick their haircut, or pick their clothes, or pick something for them. I mean, I could pick something that I hate and I know he hates and that he is stuck with. And anybody willing to make that commitment is cool. Everybody needs a hair chart. If everybody did this, they would truly know who they were. I'm gonna make a hair chart.
I've known Kendall through a gallery I used to run, and just generally through the arts community in Cincinnati. Can't say that I've paid that much attention to the evolution of Kendall's hairstyle. I hope I can add a little bit of a unique perspective to the proceedings. Do we have facial hair options or no? Because that could add another dimension.
Most people don't ask you what you think, you just tell them. So this was my opportunity to tell you what your hair should look like. I think that more people should probably seek public input on how they go out in public. They've done everything else in a reality show. This is a nice spin on that. Can I say you're fired now?
Really what you gotta look at is if people are just trying to get you to have an asinine haircut, like those get kicked out right away. Like, come on now. We're not in 5th grade. Like, actually something that would look good on your head. I think you better be nice to me. No, I think it's funny.
As far as criteria, I think it needs to look good. It needs to be modern. It needs to not be a silly sort of trendy haircut or making fun of some other haircut.
I think I'm going to be looking for something hopefully that's maybe conceptually based, as opposed to just sort of a funny hairstyle, making fun of you or the project or something like that. So that's kind of something that I'm bringing to it, but I'll be open to it, anything that, passes by. And I'm into consensus.
I think that sometimes when people see hairstyles in a magazine and they think, oh, this is what I want, they don't think about, is it right for their hair? So I think I will be looking for things that are doable, that you can maintain, and also are attractive on you.
And I think if I can pick what Kendall is supposed to look like, then I would be much happier with my relationship with Kendall.
I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm sure it's gonna work out fine.
Three, 4. Okay.
Should we sit down?
Sit down here. Why doesn't everybody sit at the table, actually? Yeah. All right. Don't whisper.
Okay.
The camera won't pick it up. Okay. Are you guys ready to judge my haircut? All the entries that I got, every single one, didn't edit anything out. And they're on the wall over here. There's comments where they could list a description of kind of explaining the cut, so everybody can just...
Are there any regulations on discussing these with them?
You can talk. I would prefer that nobody ask my opinion.
Oh, why would we do that?
Each judge selected 2 entries for the next round, narrowing the choices down to 10. Patrick's first selection is described as 3 layers of hair, bottom longest, each layer getting shorter, with a poof of hair on the top center.
It's kind of like the top of a thatched building and just somewhat bizarre, but very distinctive. It's one of those things that might look terrible on Kendall, but I would just love to see.
Patrick's other choice is described 2 braided wreaths modeled on a Greek god, Japanese butt-kicker theology, combined with the intellectualism of Malcolm X. Also good for storing more sweatbands than you possibly could with a non-shaved sweatband strip. Yes?
The stupid nonsense of that was just perfect. I think they just kind of justified their drawing that they did and then kind of came up with garbage to support it.
Matt selected the knot. Pull all hair back in knotted with rubber band ponytail. Cut all the hair at the quick.
Having the element of chance operation inserted into the actual haircut, because there's also a lot of chance going on with the entire project. I thought that was nice. It meshed nicely with the overall concept of the show.
Matt also chose this entry, which reads, "The back and top of hair should be tonsured. The brow line should recede. K. Brun should gain 20 to 30 pounds. The overall look should be that of an overweight, balding, middle-aged white guy. Add peroxide for extra tinges of white hair."
I thought that was a really nice sort of conceptual leap to sort of alter his entire identity.
Trisha picked the same old bad haircut you already got.
I like that idea. That you wouldn't change. That you go through this whole process and not change anything.
Trisha also chose this entry, simply described as sprouted.
It looks doable. It looks like a feasible haircut, but it also looks as though, in order to get it to actually have that sort of sprouting Sideshow Bob look, that you would have to put some effort into it.
Hairstylist Kimmy picked the trim.
Your hair is driving me crazy because it's like 5 months grow out, but I do like it longer, but I just want to tweak it.
Kimmy's other choice is described as short, shaggy, messy, choppy, parted on side, cool.
I think you look better with shorter hair. Like, I liked it, and that also would make you have to do things, which is kind of funny. But it's still doable. Some of them are.
My mother selected this haircut, described as teased out, hairsprayed 80s inspired. Might require a perm and blonde over bleached highlights. Hair works best with consistency of straw.
I don't think Kendall's ever had anything that was kind of shaggy like that.
My mother's other selection is simply described as sophisticat yup.
Because it looked like it had some wave to it.
The battle lines had been drawn. The judges were now instructed to rate each haircut on a 10-point scale. Those scores were tallied to determine the top 2 choices. Only 2 remain. Option A, Sue Spade's entry, The Knot, and Option B, Corinne Dean's Shaggy Cool Cut. The judges discussed the 2 finalists.
They have a fairly strong description of how they want it pulled back with the thing and cut at the quick. I think they meant cut quickly.
No, cut it quick, like close to the head.
Cut it close to the head. So I would say that's pretty much what you're going to do.
It's going to be about that long, and then
Like a bald spot right on the back of his head.
It's going to be longer because that's
Like you have a leech spot
obviously.
right
So
there.
it's going to be
So it's actually going to probably be a significant amount of hair at the top.
actually right around
Right.
here, like right in here. It's going to be more of like a
Which is something I
complete
can't achieve.
drastic angle forward.
Can you tell me too, like maybe a little bit about how you would interpret B?
B looks really like it's at the same length, pretty much all over, with just a little tapering, like at the bottom. So then all of this is somewhat shaggy and longer. Like all of it's all one length. He'd have to put product in his hair to make it actually look.
But it's kind of a
Yeah, kind of just
it's
messy.
like how it happens, it happens.
Right.
Typical guy haircut.